Hey, what's going on? Welcome back to Daz Reacts, and today I am reacting to another George Carlin video, and this one he discusses some cultural issues that he has. And I don't know about you, I really enjoy watching George Carlin. That until I started this channel, I had no idea who he was. Someone could have come up to me and said like, "Oh, have you watched George Carlin?" And I'm like, I don't know who you're on about, but I really have been enjoying watching his stuff, and he doesn't have me reacting that much. He has me listening a lot. He's one of these that I don't really want to be stopping the video here and there and here and there because I just want to listen to what he has to say. Sometimes I do chime in with my own 2 pence and things like that. So we'll see how we go. I'm looking forward to this. I hope you enjoy it. If there's any other specific like George Carlin videos that you want me to react to, let me know in the comments down below. Or if there's anything else really that you want me to react to, like comedian wise or TV show wise, then again let me know in the comments down below. But let's get into this. I'm looking forward to it. I hope you enjoy it.
Something else I don't understand, motivation tapes, motivation books. What happened here? Suddenly everybody needs to be motivated? It's a fairly simple thing. Either you want to do something or you don't. What's the big mystery? Besides, if you're motivated enough to go to the store to buy a motivation book, aren't you motivated enough to do that? So you don't need the book. Put it back. Tell the clerk, fuck you, I'm motivated, I'm going home.
Makes a good point.
And can anyone explain to me the need for 1 hour photo finishing? You just saw the fucking thing. How can you possibly be nostalgic about a concept like a little while ago? Another complaint, too many vehicles. There are some families in this country own entirely too many vehicles. You see them on the highway in an RV, but that's not enough for them. RV's not enough. Behind them, they're towing a motorboat, go-kart, dune buggy, dirt bike, jet ski, snowmobile, parasail, hang glider, windsurfing equipment, a hot air balloon, and a small two-man deep-sea diving bell. Doesn't anyone just take a fucking walk anymore? The only thing these people lack is a lunar excursion module. Too many choices, America. It's not healthy. Another abomination. White.
Here's the thing about driving. That I'm a fairly new driver. Before I met my wife, I wasn't a driver. I didn't even have my license, and I never thought that I'd get my license. To be fair, I never really wanted to drive. That I was happy to take the bus and the train to work. It took me about 20 minutes, half an hour to get into work, and then it come to a point where I wanted to get fit, so I started to cycle to work, and probably looking overall like 15 mile a day there and back, give or take. And it was good for me, and I lost a lot of weight doing it, and I was in really good shape at the time. And then when I met my wife, because she's always been a driver and then she didn't want to be the driver anymore, that she kept bugging me to go and take do my lessons and take my tests, and I ended up passing. And now I drive everywhere. I am so unfit. I am so unhealthy now, and I blame driving. Before that, I used to walk everywhere or cycle and things like that. Even if I wanted to get a bus or a train, I would have had to walk to the bus stop or walk to the train station, which are not really that nearby anyway. But yeah, driving has made me very, very lazy, and don't get me wrong, I do enjoy driving. I hate driving small journeys like to the supermarkets and things like that. I hate it. But if the wife says to me, "Oh, let's go to Brighton or let's go to Bournemouth," and it's like a 4 or 5 hour drive, I'm absolutely fine with that. But if she says, "Oh, let's go to Tesco," and you think, oh, "You drive, that I ain't dealing with all these bloody tosspots on the road." You didn't have to worry about that on the bus. That you get on the bus, you put your headphones on, you sit and watch something on YouTube or Netflix, and you're fine. You're good to go. That you get off on your stop. Any crap that comes up, the bus driver deals with it. But no, drivers, yeah. Drivers don't get that privilege.
There's a lunar excursion module. Too many choices, America. It's not healthy. Another abomination. White guys over 10 years of age who wear their baseball hats backwards.
Not guilty.
Listen to me. White guys, let me tell you something. You're never going to be as cool as black guys. It's not going to happen. You're white and you're lame. It's a fucking law of nature.
Once that some dude in the audience and wearing it backwards. Yeah. Now, see, with me, like, I'm alright now because my headphones cover it. But like, I've not so much now. When I was younger, I had big ears, but they poked out, and whenever I wore a baseball cap, it just it was not a good look. So I've never been one for wearing baseball caps.
It's a fucking law of nature. Turning your hat around and learning a complicated handshake will not make you cool. And you black guys, since you started the whole thing, I'm going to let you stay with the hats a little bit longer, but I think really, once you qualify for Social Security, it's time to spin that motherfucker around to the front of you. All right? Another tip for the men. The thing with the earrings, it's over. Been over for a long time. Doesn't mean anything anymore. It was supposed to piss off the squares. The squares are wearing them now. Doesn't mean anything. It's just fucking jewelry. Unless you have an earring with a live baby hanging from it, it's just jewelry. And I want you to know I'm in favor of self-mutilation and personal disfigurement. I've always said there's nothing like puncturing and perforating your skin in a dozen or so places in order to demonstrate your high self-esteem. When I see a young man decorating his scalp with a soldering iron, I say, there's a happy guy. Thinks highly of himself. And haven't we gone a little overboard with these colored ribbons for different causes? Every cause has its own colored ribbon now. Red for AIDS, blue for child abuse, pink for breast cancer, green for the rainforest, purple for urban violence. I got a brown one. You know what it means? Eat shit, motherfucker! Eat shit, motherfucker!
I'd wear that one, honestly. I got asked at one point at work that like for certain things that if I could start wearing the ribbons, like I was wearing a suit and at the time, and like if I could start wearing the ribbons that represent different causes, and I was like, nah, hell no. And people was like, why? It's like because people are just gonna look at me and think, oh, he's wearing a bit of ribbon. Not everyone knows what these ribbons are about and things like that. And like if there's a cause, wearing a ribbon ain't gonna do shit, is it? It's not gonna raise awareness for it. It's not gonna do nothing. If you wanna like help the cause, then donate some fucking money to the cause. That wearing a ribbon ain't gonna do jack. The only one that I honestly would is the poppy appeal. And the only reason I buy the poppies is because I take my daughter to school and they're selling them in the playground, and like I'll buy them then. But other than that, I have this mentality that like charity starts at home. That I don't like giving my money away. I don't work hard for my money basically, but I work for my money, so I don't like giving my money away. I'm not a very charitable person. I've got my two stepsons are both disabled, so like I'm a full-time carer to them. They're both blind, they're both in wheelchairs. Donate to me. The link in the description.
And what can we do to silence these Christian athletes who thank Jesus whenever they win, never mention his name when they lose? Not a word. You never hear him say, Jesus made me drop the ball. But the good Lord tripped me up behind the line of scrimmage. According to these guys, Jesus is undefeated. Meanwhile, these assholes are in last place. Must be another one of those miracles. And speaking of delusional people, what about a guy who hears a voice in his head tells him to kill his entire family, so he does it? Is this the only thing a voice in the head ever tells these people to do is to kill others? Doesn't a voice ever tell a guy, go take a shit on the salad bar at Wendy's? Doesn't a voice tell a guy to take out his dick on the merry-go-round once in a while? Well, some guys do take out their dicks on the merry-go-round, but usually it's their own idea. Something else I can do without: aftershave and cologne. And this disgusting shit that men put on their bodies. Just what I need in the elevator. Some guy standing next to me smells like a fucking pine tree. I said, go home and wash, you smelly prick. You smell like the urinal in a Portuguese cat house. God damn, guys are stupid. Guys are really fucking dumb. They think they're going to get laid with this stuff, you know.
Do you know what? The thing is that this is the same again. Before I met my wife, I never wore aftershaves or anything like it. That even like nothing. The only thing that I would wear is Lynx deodorant. I can't use any other deodorant. If I start to use any other deodorants, I stink to I Evans, and I don't know why. I could be sitting down all day and I stink to I Evans, but if I use Lynx Africa, I'm absolutely fine. And she's gone out and she's bought me like the Diesel and the Man Million and the Tom Fords, and I don't wear none of it. Honestly, it's sitting upstairs in the bedroom, and I don't wear none of it. I'm not an aftershave person. She'd be like, "It's for when we have a night out. We don't fucking go nowhere. What's the point? We don't go out. If we go out, we're going to TGI Fridays, and I'm not going to start putting all that on because he's going to taint the taste of the burger. So it ain't happening."
God damn, guys are stupid. Guys are really fucking dumb. They think they're gonna get laid with this stuff, you know. Oh yeah, they put it on at home. Oh boy, I'll get laid tonight. I'll get laid tonight. You don't get laid with green shit that comes out of a bottle, okay? And the only smell that's gonna help you get laid might be your own natural scent. You have pheromones. It's a secondary sex characteristic. People in America, nervous about sex. They want to cover that up and disguise it. Guys in Europe, they know how to live. Guy gets in the elevator over there, he smells like a pile of dog shit.
Hey, I resent it.
People are sophisticated. Getting pretty tired of these guys walking around in cowboy hats and cowboy boots. You ever see these jack-offs? Can't we kill some of these motherfuckers walking around in a fucking cowboy hat? Grown man. It's not even Halloween, for Christ's sakes. I say, hey, Tex, grow up and get yourself a wardrobe consistent with the century you're living in.
Do you know what? That's an older generation thing, like with the cowboy hats. Obviously it doesn't happen here in the UK, but it happens quite a lot in America. I've seen it, like if I've been watching like news things or like social media clips and that. I've seen it in America where like they wear the cowboy hats and the boots and that. And I think the thing here is that, like my dad, for example, my dad will go out and buy a big load of junk. That he's going through this fascination now where he's a massive Elvis Presley fan, and he's going through this fascination where he's buying these belt buckles. And I have no idea why. He's spending like £30-40 on a fucking belt buckle that just says Elvis on it. I really don't understand it. That I'm not one that, like, I don't wear jewelry. The only jewelry I wear is like my rings, that like the wedding rings and things like that. Like, I don't wear a watch. I don't wear a necklace. Don't wear earrings. Don't look at the ears. Nothing, honestly. And the wife's bought me them all. Like, she's bought me all different kinds of jewelry, and I don't wear none. I'm not a jewelry person. I never have been. That's the thing. I told her that I'm not a jewelry person, and she buys me jewelry. I told her that I'm not an aftershave person, and she buys me aftershave. I need to tell her that, like, I'm not an 85-inch smart TV kind of person, so she might go out and buy me.
It's not even Halloween, for Christ's sakes. I say, hey, Tex, grow up and get yourself a wardrobe consistent with the century you're living in. Why do certain men feel the need to dress up as mythic figures? You don't see anyone walking around in a pirate costume, do you? When's the last guy you ran into had on a Viking outfit? Make-believe cowboys. Closest they ever got to a cow is when they stopped to take a piss at an Arby's. And camcorders. Here is technology gone berserk. Everywhere you go now, there's some dick, some yo-yo, some putz with a camcorder, and he is going to tape everything. Doesn't anyone in this country just stop and look at things anymore? Sort of take them in, maybe even remember them? Is that just a strange notion? Does experience have to be documented and brought home and saved on a shelf? And do people really watch this shit? Are people's lives so bankrupt they sit at home looking at things they already did?
Here's my issue with that. That, like, don't get me wrong, I've done it as well. Not so much videos, but like I'll go abroad and I'll take photos and things like that of where I've been. Like over the last few years, I've been to like the Canary Islands, I've been to Lanzarote, Tenerife, and like I've been to Malta and Turkey, and I take pictures of the places that I've been and like the scenery, the mountains, the sea, the hotels, the shops, and everything. And then you think to yourself that these are really nice photos. Like you come home and you show, look. That's it. Never going to look at these photos again. Never ever going to look at them. I understand with kids and things like that. That like I have got thousands and thousands and thousands of photos of my daughter, and she's nearly 7 years old, and I'm probably going to use maybe 20 or 30 of these in a lifetime from what I've taken so far. There's so many. Honestly, it's unbelievable. It's amazing because he died in 2008. I'd love to see his reaction to how things are now with smartphones and for everything that people are doing with smartphones. Because you get it now where, like, you could be driving and someone will just walk out in the road on their phone. They are not paying attention at all. These people don't give a shit if they get hit by a car. They're just on their phone. That you get people. I was talking to someone on like my YouTube comments earlier about like people that walk along on their phone while their kids are just like gallivanting around them, beside them, and things like that. And I was saying, like, with that, if I'm out with my daughter, like my eyes are on her like a hawk. That like it's a scary world nowadays and things like that. That it's not time to be sitting on phones and that. But yeah, no, I'd love to have known what his opinion is on things today. Sorry if I keep pausing. I've got quite a lot to say on this one. Sorry.
Are people's lives so bankrupt they sit at home looking at things they already did? These guys are so intense, you know. It's always guys. They won't let women touch the cameras. It's a highly technical skill. Look through a hole, push on a button, big skill, and they all think they're Federico Fellini. You ever seen any of this? Low angles, zooms, and pans, and it's the same ugly 3 children in every goddamn shot. All the George Lucas magic in Hollywood is not going to change the unfortunate genetic configuration on the faces of these children. Keep these unfortunate youngsters out of public view. Now, a lot of these, hold on a sec. A lot of these cultural crimes I've been complaining about can be blamed on the baby boomers. Something else I'm a little tired of hearing about. The baby boomers. Whiny, narcissistic, self-indulgent people with a simple philosophy. Give me it, it's mine! Give me that, it's mine! These people were given everything. Everything was handed to them. And they took it all. Took it all. Sex, drugs, and rock and roll. And they stayed loaded for 20 years and had a free ride. But now they're staring down the barrel of middle-age burnout, and they don't like it. They don't like it, so they've turned self-righteous. And they want to make things hard on younger people. They tell them abstain from sex, say no to drugs. As for the rock and roll, they sold that for television commercials a long time ago. So they could buy pasta machines and Stairmasters and soybean futures. Soybean futures. You know something? They're cold, bloodless people. It's in their slogans, it's in their rhetoric. No pain, no gain. Just do it. Life is short, play hard. Shit happens, deal with it. Get a life. These people went from do your own thing to just say no. They went from love is all you need to whoever winds up with the most toys wins. And they went from cocaine to Rogaine.
Do you know what? This man never fails to amuse me, honestly. He really never does.
And you know something? They're still counting grams, only now it's fat grams. And the worst of it is the rest of us have to watch these commercials on TV for Levi's loose-fitting jeans and fat-ass Docker pants. Because these degenerate yuppie boomer cocksuckers couldn't keep their hands off the croissants and the Haagen-Dazs. And their big fat asses have spread all over and they have to wear fat-ass Docker pants. Fuck these boomers, fuck these yuppies, and fuck everybody now that I think of it. Well, sometimes in comedy you have to generalize. Now there's one thing you might have noticed I don't complain about. Politicians. Everybody complains about politicians. Everybody says they suck. Yeah! Well, where do people think these politicians come from? They don't fall out of the sky. They don't pass through a membrane from another reality. They come from American parents and American families, American homes, American schools, American churches, American businesses, and American universities, and they're elected by American citizens. This is the best we can do, folks. This is what we have to offer. It's what our system produces. Garbage in, garbage out. If you have selfish, ignorant citizens, you're going to get selfish, ignorant leaders. And term limits ain't going to do you any good. You're just going to wind up with a brand new bunch of selfish, ignorant Americans. So maybe it's not the politicians who suck. Maybe something else sucks around here, like the public. Yeah, the public sucks. There's a nice campaign slogan for somebody. The public sucks, fuck hope.
The ironic thing here is that he's sitting there saying like the public suck, the public suck. He's talking to all the people in the audience. They're the public. they're like for the politicians and that are in, guaranteed like a majority of them in the audience would have voted for them people. But I agree with what he says though, that like you only get what you vote for, and that's the thing here, that like politicians in the UK, I've stopped following politics completely now in the UK. That it is something that I have no interest in at all. I used to follow it. I used to have an interest in it, but now it is the case that it comes to the likes of Brexit, and then Boris leaves, and then fucking Theresa comes in, and I don't give a shit. I really do. I really couldn't care less. That honestly, it's just something that I'm not going to vote. I don't care what they do. It don't affect me personally. Who comes in, whether it's Labour or Conservative. What effect does it have on me personally? Not as a country as a whole, but me personally, no effect at all. It hasn't so far anyway. So I'm very stubborn in that I don't really care about it.
The public. Yeah, the public sucks. There's a nice campaign slogan for somebody. The public sucks. Fuck hope. Fuck hope. Because if it's really just the fault of these politicians, then where are all the other bright people of conscience? Where are all the bright, honest, intelligent Americans ready to step in and save the nation and lead the way? We don't have people like that in this country. Everybody's at the mall, scratching his ass, picking his nose, taking his credit card out of his fanny pack and buying a pair of sneakers with lights in them. So I have solved this little political dilemma for myself in a very simple way. On election day, I stay home. I don't vote. Fuck them. Fuck them. I don't vote. Two reasons I don't vote. First of all, it's meaningless. This country was bought and sold and paid for a long time ago. The shit they shuffle around every 4 years doesn't mean a fucking thing. And secondly, I don't vote because I believe if you vote, you have no right to complain. People like to twist that around, I know. They say, well, if you don't vote, you have no right to complain. But where's the logic in that? If you vote, and you elect dishonest, incompetent people, and they get into office and screw everything up, well, you are responsible for what they have done. You caused the problem. You voted them in. You have no right to complain. I, on the other hand, who did not vote, who, in fact, did not even leave the house on election day, am in no way responsible for what these people have done and have every right to complain as loud as I want about the mess you created that I had nothing to do with. So I know that a little later on this year you're going to have another one of those really swell presidential elections that you like so much. You'll enjoy yourselves. It'll be a lot of fun. I'm sure as soon as the election is over, your country will improve immediately. As for me, I'll be home on that day doing essentially the same thing as you. The only difference is when I get finished masturbating, I'm going to have a little something to show for it, folks. Thank you very much.
This man, honestly, this man is brilliant. I'm so gutted that like it's taken up until now to this point, because there's so much of his content. Like every time I put out a George Carlin video, I get comments like, watch this one, and I have to go back to a list of all the ones that I've got so far, and like that ain't on the list, and I'm adding more. So there's so much to get through, and I plan on getting through every single last one of them. I have not watched a single video of this man yet that I thought, nah, I didn't like that one. Nah, want for me and things like that. And he's covered so many different things that I've watched so far, and it is I just sit and watch him in awe. And I love watching stand-up comedians that they're eccentric and they do a lot on the stage and things like that. They make jokes like Lee. I like watching Lee Evans, and he makes the jokes about his wife, and he makes the jokes about his kids and his dog and his work and sports and things like that. And that's a different kind of stand-up comedian. But with George Carlin, he's a comedian, he's a philosopher, and he has me watching and things like that. And he is so much ahead of his time that like he died in 2008. God knows when this one was recorded. This one was probably recorded in the 90s, or like early millennium. So he is so far ahead of his time in a lot of what he says. But I'm rambling on, guys. Listen, I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button to help the channel out. If there's any specific George Carlin videos that you want me to react to, or anything else that you want me to react to, basically, then just leave it down in the comments below, and I will add it to the list, and I will get round to it eventually. But that list is building up. But yeah, guys, thank you all for tuning in. If you got this far, I appreciate it, and I will see you in the next one.